Because I'm like coated in.
Good morning. I just woke up. I have some tea. Ow. Last night I kind of started properly reading The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula Le Guin. I began reading it in the morning. But I had this thing where I just finished reading a book of a completely different genre, style, written in a different time period, and I needed to readjust and I guess like let my brain digest and process everything that I just read before diving into something completely different, because Left Hand of Darkness is a sci-fi published in 1969. It's about an emissary from Earth sent to a different planet, an icy cold planet called Genthen, to help establish or encourage the formation of some kind of alliance. And a big part of his work is understanding the culture, understanding the people that are there, and keeping record of it. So the book is written as a record of his time there. And mostly it's very similar to Earth. Social order, hierarchy, there's a monarchy, there's political tension, all of these things. But of course it's not like one-to-one. But the major difference is that the people there, the beings there, they're androgynous. They don't have genders. They just like exist outside, like zero sexual characteristics. And every now and then they go into a heat cycle. The individuals will go into a heat cycle, and then that is how they mate and reproduce. And we haven't heard so much of it yet, just like a loose overview, but I guess that will influence or affect a lot of what happens within the book, both from our protagonist's like perspective and also from like the actual society, like how the society is set up. So yeah, I'm in like chapter 3. I'm on chapter 3 or something like that. And so far, plot point wise, the prime minister to the king was someone that our protagonist, his name is Genli AI, published in 1969, but I keep having a lot of thoughts, and yeah, I'm sure I'll shake them, but I keep thinking it's some weird like ChatGPT reference. The Prime Minister of the King was the one person that our protagonist, the emissary Genli, could kind of trust. Like, he could ask questions and he would have them answered very matter-of-factly, honestly, without judgment, all of these things. And then the Prime Minister invites him over for dinner one day, and Genli is told by the Prime Minister that he is withdrawing support and he will no longer be able to endorse Genli, and that he will not help Genli's relationship with the king, which is obviously a huge part of his mission, is he has to have the king on board with the whole idea. And yeah, the Prime Minister is not going to help with that anymore. And then very soon after, we find out that the Prime Minister of the King has been exiled. He committed some kind of treason and exiled, gone. He's no longer welcome, and if he ever comes back, he will be put to death. Like, it's very serious. So that's the conflict, I guess, so far. It's like, wow, why did that happen? And I'm excited to keep reading and find out why it happened. I have something I have to plan around. I'm going to go on a walking tour of criminology in Prague. It was set up by my university. I'm excited. I've lived here for like 10 years almost, and I never, I feel like I never do touristy things. Even though this isn't really a touristy thing because it's set up by my university, it is a walking tour of the city, and I'm going to learn things that I don't know, I guess. So I'm very excited. But genuinely, I've been looking to explore a little more from less of the lens of a local and more of someone who's just like genuinely curious about the city and the way that a tourist often is. So I'm gonna make a little plan for my day, some reading time, and if not, then I'll see this bad boy again at bedtime when I get to read it next or in the evening. So we just finished the tour that my lecturer organised, the walking tour of crime in Prague, public criminology. It was very interesting. I mean, we didn't just finish. I saw there was a tram, full sprinted to the tram to the point where I was like hyperventilating and my heart was pounding to catch my breath once I got to the tram. That's how fast I was running. But I took the tram. I'm back in my own neighbourhood, and I actually really loved the tour.
She's always hungry by Eliza Clark. Let me go get it. I did.
Ready to restart the game or anything? Same style. That is so good. I get out of prison is
Hi, it's actually many months later, and I was looking at that video and I kind of wanted to round off my thoughts about The Left Hand of Darkness, because obviously I did finish it. And I loved it so much. It was so beautiful that as soon as I finished it, I texted the friend that recommended it to me, just like, holy shit, thank you for recommending this, because it was beautiful is the perfect word. I don't know, it's just like, what I found very interesting about it was that it starts off as a very like sociological and observant piece, and I wouldn't say it's detached because it's in first person, but it is there's a lot of clarity in the fact that our protagonist doesn't know anything, right? Like, that they're learning as they're going along, they're figuring things out, we're figuring it out with them. Like, so many things, like how relationships and reproduction work, and the kind of crazy political mechanisms within each state on this planet, because I guess there are two major governments that we encounter, and it's just like this. All of this stuff is so cool. It's so interesting to learn, and to learn it alongside Genli. But then the third act, let's say, hits, and it is like haunting and intense and emotional, and you can't peel your eyes away from it. Like, I really, like, if you start reading this book and you're bored and you think like, I'm not interested in this, not my cup of tea, you have to stick it out, because it gets to a point where it becomes one of the most like intense and connected relationships that I've seen, like between two characters depicted in a novel, like ever, like, or at least that I can remember. And yeah, it's just like, it's wonderful. And the imagery is absolutely stunning. The consequences, the outcomes of things that happen or that the characters do in the book, it's just so perfectly suited to their action. And yeah, I felt very truly materially presently aware of the bond that was forming between the characters, the gravity of the situation, the like just how intense it all was. And I felt like I was like holding my breath. So stunning writing, a stunning story, amazing. And this, obviously I did a little bit of research after reading it. I don't want to read too much about the author and about their circumstance before I read a book, because I feel like already just knowing the date of publication affects how you read it, which is a good thing, but not always, you know. So I knew the time period that this book was written in, but I didn't know much about the author or what else she had written or anything like that. But yeah, no, I think she's very, very, very cool. She's like the mother of sci-fi, and it like almost transformed the genre. It's not aliens and blasters and teleportation, but like a sociological and personal look at science fiction. So absolutely love that. I haven't read anything else by Ursula Le Guin. I still didn't look up how to pronounce it as of yet, but I definitely will. I'm pretty sure this book is a part of a series. Let me check. It is, but I'm kind of not interested in. I don't know if it's an anthology or if it's like actually sequential. I'm not sure. If it's an anthology, then maybe I would read the rest of the books in the series, but if not, I'm not really interested in diving deeper. And that's not because the story was bad, that was because the story was so good that I don't want to touch it. I want to leave it as is. So yeah, those are my thoughts on The Left Hand of Darkness, and I'm so glad that I read it. Also glad that I'm able to provide this reflection months out, because it's, I guess, just shows how impactful it was and how much it stuck with me, because yeah, here I am, I think like 3 or 4 months later, and I still feel pretty passionately about it. It definitely wasn't just the you know, the emotions of having just finished the book. Yeah, big recommend.